it's time for a YouTube video. I've been stuck in my eensy-weensy, teeny-tiny New York City apartment in quarantine for about 2 weeks now. I haven't made any YouTube content, so that's what I'm gonna do right now. First, actually, someone on Instagram asked me to do an apartment tour. So, even though my girlfriend is gonna kill me that I didn't clean up before we do this apartment tour, let's do it, shall we? You know what, I'll do it from a first-person point of view. So, this is what you see when you walk in. We got a washer dryer, which is it's magical in New York City. I went 3 years without one. It was not good. We got the bathroom in here. Very nice. Living room, refrigerator, kitchen, dining room. Got a little view here, which is good. The last apartment I had a window about that big, so we had no natural light. So this is actually super nice. It's just a studio apartment in New York. It's like 550 square feet. Got the bedroom, slippers. This closet doesn't make any sense to me just because it's just large enough for a stick to fit in. It's like, I don't even know why they would make it this small, but got a closet with a whole bunch of nonsense in it, and got some workout gear, my Johnny Bag of Donuts hat, this stuff, and that's it. With that being said, now let's get into the YouTube video. So this is a health and fitness channel, not a home decor channel. So what I've done is I took a whiteboard, outlined everything I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna explain it to you, but it's mainly health and fitness related. Nutrition, exercise, and also mental and emotional health as well. Basically, what I'm doing to stay sane and healthy and happy during this crazy time period. Also, part of this video is selfish because I was thinking, man, it would be super cool if my future kids or future grandkids or great grandkids saw this video and just saw what it was like to be living during this time frame. So, to all of my future kids and grandkids, go clean your room. Just had an idea. I was gonna film this video in my apartment, but I'm gonna see if the roof is open. And if the roof is open, we're gonna film it up there. Let's see. Woo! There are people out here. Fuck. Wow, it is nice out. Oh my God, look at this. Look at that view. All right, there are a couple people up on my roof. So I don't know if I'm gonna film it up here, but wow, super nice. All right, never mind. People are up here, so we're gonna go downstairs and film it. Should really clean this up to look nice for the video, huh? That's better. I have no idea how to start this video. Just gonna come right out the gate saying that. I've been sitting here for about 30 minutes trying to come up with the best way to start the video. And I just have to start talking because otherwise I will sit here all day. Before I get into the whiteboard stuff and sort of discuss how I've been dealing with it, what I've been doing to stay healthy and sane and productive during this time, there are some things I want to discuss. First and foremost, I hope you are safe and healthy and happy. My heart goes out to everyone who's suffered a loss from all of this and who will suffer losses from all of this. So my prayers are with you. I hope, if I can do anything to help, if you want anyone to speak with, I'm always here as a friend first and foremost. With that said, a lot of people have been asking me what it's like in New York, right? So I'm stuck in New York right now. And people have been asking me, what's the situation like? Like, are you okay? What's going on? Is it crazy? It's not pandemonium. It's not. It's actually, I would imagine, the quietest this city has ever been in the history of this entire city. There's nobody on the streets. Like, it's outrageous. Even on a beautiful day, there's nobody out. There are a couple people here and there, but I mean, I took a picture of Times Square the other night. I went on a walk with my girlfriend, and maybe we could put the picture up here or something so you can see. There was next to nobody out in Times Square on a Saturday night. It was crazy. A lot of people have been asking me how I'm dealing with it. A lot of friends and family, especially when I get on the phone with them, and they're very concerned, and it's actually really funny. I have family in Israel, and usually I'm the one reaching out to them being like, are you okay? Because the news and the media are putting up scary headlines, and there's bombings in Israel and there's terrorist attacks and all this stuff. And I lived in Israel for years, and I know a lot of that is media propaganda and nonsense, stuff just designed to scare you. Now, my family in Israel, they're the ones contacting me. Are you okay? We see the news about New York City, how terrible it is, how crazy it is. And, here I am. Thankfully, God bless, I'm okay, I'm healthy, I'm fine, I'm safe. I have other friends who are like, oh my God, you live in a 550 square foot apartment, like it's tiny. How are you surviving right now? How are you possibly surviving in that tiny space? And I think I'm probably gonna get some hate for this, but this is the truth. This is the truth, and I'm gonna say it. In this moment, the way that I think perspective is everything, right? So the way I'm sort of dealing with it is I live in a 550 square foot apartment. I have dumbbells to my left. I have supplements. I have a table. I have water. I have food. I have heating. I have air conditioning. I have a bed. And I think, and this is what I'm going to get hate for, I think of someone like Anne Frank, who was stuck in like the teeniest, tiniest little cupboard with other people, minimal food, minimal water. They couldn't make a peep for the fear of being found at any point in time for weeks and months on it, and years. If they can do that, then I can do this and not complain about it. Not to mention, I'm healthy. Thank God. The point of me saying that is, yes, it's craziness. It's insanity. Many, many people have died and will continue to die, and it's tragic beyond words. But I also think it's important to remember the media is doing things to scare you. They're putting out very, very, very scary headlines. And if I could give any recommendation, it would be to follow real science professionals. And I don't mean fitness science professionals like me. I'm a fitness professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a virus specialist. I don't know any of this stuff. Follow people on social media who are actually putting out legitimate scientific education and knowledge. Some of it, I think, can be a little bit scary just based on everything that's going on. But it's better to be properly informed than misinformed. And I think if you're getting all of your information from the news, you're probably going to be very misinformed about all this stuff. So that's that. I'm going to get into the whiteboard stuff now. The first thing that I put on the whiteboard, excuse me, was a picture of a journal. And every day, I do this regardless of whether or not I'm quarantined, but every day I wake up, make coffee, and I write my daily goals for the day, what I need to accomplish that day. And the way I structure it, I'll briefly explain because it might help you, is I follow something called the 1-3-5 method. The 1 stands for my do or die priority every day. Every day I have a do or die priority. I must get it done. Okay, so today's do or die priority is this YouTube video. I've been procrastinating way too long. It's just one thing. It can only be one thing that is your sole focus for that day. Usually, not always, usually it's a big project. It might take a lot of time, might take a lot of effort, but that's what has to be done by the end of the day. And if that's all you complete by the end of the day, it's a productive day. You did something, you accomplished something, it's important. Under the 1, you have the 3, right? So 1, 3. The 3 is what I call your daily medication. These are important. They need to be prioritized, but they're not the most important. Okay, so first you accomplish your number 1, then you accomplish your number 3s. Under your number 3s, then you have 5. And these are up to about 5 things that I call your nap time activities. And these are things that you could do instead of procrastinating. So instead of taking a nap, instead of scrolling through Instagram or TikTok or whatever, you can do these. Oftentimes for me, email is a big nap time activity. Another one is answering DMs or comments. Something that is still productive. It moves me forward throughout my day. It accomplishes something good, but it doesn't take a ton of brain power and it's not that difficult to do. So that's where the 1-3-5 method comes in. I do this every single day, and this has been super, super helpful for me to just stay on track, to keep focused, to have a goal, something to focus on outside of this pandemic. So on that note, going on to the second thing that I drew on the whiteboard, it was a push-up, a stick figure doing push-ups, all right? And so what I did is early on during the quarantine, I decided I was going to do a challenge to do 300 push-ups every single day during the quarantine. And I'll make a whole separate video of what I've learned from this and what I'm doing. I've still done it. I've done well over 1,000 push-ups by now. It's been over a week at this point. I want to make something very clear. I'm not doing 300 push-ups a day for a physique-related goal. And that doesn't mean physique-related goals are bad. It just means I'm doing 300 push-ups a day for the sole purpose of doing something difficult every day. I'm not trying to be a push-up champion. I'm not trying to get a bigger barrel chest. I'm not trying to get my shoulders bigger or anything. The sole purpose of this 300 push-ups a day challenge is to do something every day that I must overcome, to do something that I don't actually want to do, but I'm required to do it because I made this rule. For me, I've seen many, many people, family, friends, people on social media, their whole life is taken over by this pandemic. And it's something that they have zero control over. Absolutely nothing. They cannot do anything to control this pandemic. And they're worried, and they're panicked and anxious. And I get it, because I am too. But when it's something you have zero control over, worrying about it will do nothing to improve you or to put you in a better situation when all is said and done. So for me right now, by having this 300 push-up a day challenge, it allows me to focus on something outside of the catastrophe that's going on right now and to continue to improve myself. Because what I've noticed is, and it's really awesome, from doing these 300 push-ups a day, I actually accomplish more elsewhere. Doing these 300 push-ups allows me to be more focused elsewhere, whether it's social media content, whether it's answering DMs, whether it's doing emails, whether it's other video projects, whatever it is. So just having this challenge to overcome every day makes me feel better, makes me feel more accomplished, and sets me in a better mind space for the rest of the day. All right, so the next thing I drew on the whiteboard is a picture of poop. And the reason actually, you know what, before I even say the reason, I just want to give a shout out to Addie Quirk, who was my friend in middle school and high school. She taught me how to draw that poop, just like in class. And I used to put it on all of my homework assignments and tests. I would just draw poop in the corner. So shout out to Addie Quirk, if by some chance you happen to be watching this video. The reason I drew the poop is to symbolize that I'm not tracking my calories or my protein during this time frame. I'm actually only tracking my fiber, hence the poop. My sole goal from a nutrition perspective, I shouldn't say my sole goal, but a main goal during this quarantine and everything is to hit 35 grams of fiber every day. There are many reasons for this. I'll start off by saying I don't think right now is the best time to be trying to lose fat. If that's your goal and if you want to, I support you 100%. But I don't think right now, when you're stuck at home, surrounded by food, limited exercise, unless you're lucky enough to have a home gym, I don't think fat loss is the best goal right now. Mainly because fat loss is already pretty difficult. It's going to be exponentially more difficult with all of this stress, all this anxiety, being surrounded by food, minimal movement. It just makes it way, way harder. That's why I don't think fat loss is the best idea right now. In addition to that, when you're tracking your calories, and this is not definitive, this is not inherent to tracking calories, but what I've found tends to happen. When you track your calories, what tends to happen is either your goal is to eat fewer calories to be in a calorie deficit to lose fat, or eat more calories to be in a surplus to optimize muscle growth. That's what I've found tends to be why people are tracking their calories. Some people do it to be around maintenance, which I love, I support that, but that's not the vast majority of people tracking. So the reason I'm encouraging you not to track your calories right now and instead track your fiber is because when you're tracking your calories, you almost always tend to go to a fat loss mindset, and that's what I want to avoid for the time being. So instead of trying to eat fewer calories, try and eat more fiber. Generally speaking, women, about 25 grams of fiber a day is a really good bet. Men, about 35 grams of fiber a day, very good bet. A little bit of variance, but that's a good general number to follow. Other reasons I like this is because when I focus on eating more fiber, I almost inherently focus on eating healthier foods, more nutrient dense, less processed foods. And I think in this time frame where it's very easy to go into the pantry and get something that's not fresh, that's not very nutrient dense, by focusing on getting more fiber, you're going to have a little bit more of a concerted effort on eating the foods that are going to be better for you, that are going to make you feel better overall. This does not mean don't have a treat. It doesn't mean don't have a candy bar. It doesn't mean don't have pizza. You can have whatever you want. And if you don't want to listen to these guidelines, by all means, don't. The reason I'm saying this is because food quality is still very important. It always is. Food quality is always important. And even now, I think maybe even more than ever. Because the higher quality food you eat, the better you'll feel. The better you feel, the more you'll be able to accomplish, the better mindset you'll be in, maybe the more you'll do some exercise. Focus on getting more fiber in, hitting your fiber numbers for the day. And also, just as a quick aside, or in addition to this, when you're trying to reduce calories, you're inherently limiting yourself, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But when you're trying to hit your fiber, you're inherently trying to hit a higher number. You're trying to get somewhere. You're trying to achieve a higher goal rather than trying to diminish. And that can have a positive mindset effect as well. All right, so the fourth thing that I drew on the whiteboard is a bottle of water. Hydrate, 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 drink more water, please. This is probably, aside from washing your hands and social distancing, this is the number one recommendation I've seen from the specialists, is making sure you're staying hydrated. This is of the utmost importance. And this is important even when we're not dealing with a pandemic, of course. But staying hydrated is so, so, so important. So please make sure you're drinking, and please make sure you're eating lots of fruits and lots of vegetables and very micronutrient-rich options. The more you can do that, the better you're gonna feel, the better this is going to turn out when all is said and done. All right, so the last thing that I drew on the whiteboard was the picture of a stick figure in a car. And this is to symbolize a book I'm reading right now. It's called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Whether or not you decide to read this book doesn't bother me either way. Try and read something. Try and pick up a book rather than only watching TV or Netflix or movies. By all means, watch some. I literally have already watched the entire Harry Potter series again. Try and do something other than watching TV. I'm reading this book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, right now, and I love it so far. I'm not that far in. I'm about 7 chapters in right now, and I'm really enjoying it. Aside from just reading something to take my mind off of stuff, it's really opening my mind to many different ideas and to a new way of thinking. One of the examples earlier on in the book was basically this guy who's teaching someone else how to sort of be able to be more open to new ideas and thoughts. He goes over to his house, and there's a teacup on the table with a saucer underneath, and underneath that is like a Persian rug. The teacher starts pouring tea into the guy's cup until the point where it starts to overflow. But he keeps pouring it and keeps pouring it, and then the tea starts coming out and over the saucer, and then onto the table, then onto the Persian rug, and the guy watching is like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, stop. No matter how much you try and fill it up, the cup's not gonna get bigger. You're not gonna be able to fit any more tea in there. It's done, it's overflowing. And the teacher said something to the effect of, your cup is already full. And I think a lot of people use that in a positive way, but this is a different meaning. And what he meant by that is everything that you know is filling up this cup. And it's very difficult, or actually impossible, for you to learn more when your cup is so full of essentially the ideas that you think you already know and you already understand and you've mastered and you can't be wrong. You need to empty your cup. You need to approach everything as though you're a beginner. Approach things as though you have not only the desire to learn, but you have the capacity to learn, that your mind and your body is open to learning something new, and maybe even you being proven wrong. If you approach every situation with the idea that you know it all and that your answer is automatically correct, no matter what happens, you can't learn more because it keeps pouring out. Your cup's already full. Empty your cup. Start fresh. Listen to new ideas. Be open-minded. So I really love that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. My heart goes out to everybody. I hope you are happy. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're safe. If I can help with anything, please don't hesitate to let me know. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon.